In a world of cruelty and deception, Vanessa, a destitute orphan, is forced by her wicked stepmother to marry a blind beggar as punishment. But the shocking truth unravels. Her new husband is neither blind nor poor. He's a billionaire in disguise, testing the hearts of those around him. What begins as a scheme to break her spirit transforms into a journey of unexpected love, staggering wealth, and a lesson in kindness that will leave you speechless. Join us for a tale of betrayal, redemption, and a twist that will change everything. Hit the like button, subscribe, and dive into this unforgettable story. Picture this. You're a destitute orphan girl suffering under the harsh rule of a cruel stepmother. One day, she compels you to wed a blind beggar as a punishment, aiming to destroy your future. But here's the unexpected turn. The man isn't blind, nor is he poor. He's a hidden billionaire posing as blind to gauge the true character of women. What unfolds next will leave you astonished. This tale is brimming with deception, surprising fortunes, and a profound lesson you'll always remember. Before we embark on this heartfelt journey, please do me a favor. Hit that like button, and if you're new here, subscribe to join our expanding community of story enthusiasts. You won't want to miss what's next. Now let's dive in. The sun hadn't fully risen, yet Vanessa was already up, her hands submerged in cold, soapy water, scrubbing the floor with a cloth that once belonged to her late mother. Her knees throbbed from kneeling. Her fingers were chapped and sore. Her eyes were weary from lack of sleep. But none of that mattered. This was her reality. Her name was never spoken with kindness, only shouted. Vanessa, why is this place still filthy? Vanessa, is this food even fit for humans? Vanessa, if you speak again, you'll sleep outside tonight. She had heard every insult, every day, every hour. Vanessa was only 13 when a car accident claimed her parents. Her world collapsed instantly, leaving her with her father's second wife, Angela, the only relative who pretended to care. At first, Angela feigned concern, saying with fake tears, "Don't worry, you'll live with me. I'll treat you like my own child." But once the funeral was over and the mourners left, Angela's pretense vanished. That very night, she grabbed Vanessa by the ear and yelled, "From now on, you call me Ma. You'll cook, clean, and follow my every order. If you don't, I'll toss you onto the streets, and no one will care." And no one did. For years, Vanessa became an unpaid servant in the home where she was once a cherished daughter. Her stepsisters, Cindy and Ella, relaxed in silk pajamas, glued to their phones, while Vanessa bathed in cold water and wore tattered clothes that barely covered her knees. That morning, Vanessa carefully stirred OG in a rusty pot. There was no sugar, no milk, just plain pap and stale akra. The smoke from the firewood irritated her eyes, and her stomach rumbled with hunger, having eaten nothing since the previous day. She heard the door creak behind her and tensed. Angela emerged in her wrapper, yawning. "So, you're just standing there staring at the food like a statue," she snapped. "Do I need to whip you to get you moving?" Vanessa hurriedly stood and poured the pap into a bowl, her hands shaking. "Sorry, Ma." Angela snatched the bowl and spat into the pot. "This is for the boss. Don't touch it." Vanessa nodded, suppressing her pride and hunger. She sat back on the floor, hugging her knees. Angela turned to her with a sudden smirk. "Eat quickly and wash up. You have a visitor today." "A visitor?" Vanessa asked softly. "Yes," Angela replied, licking her greasy fingers. "A man. He's looking for a wife. I told him you're available." Vanessa's heart raced. "A man for me?" Angela chuckled. "Don't get your hopes up. He's no prince. In fact, he's blind." Vanessa blinked, puzzled. "Yes, a blind man," Angela said, standing taller. "He wants a simple, obedient girl, and I told him I got the perfect useless one right here." "Ma, please, I'm not ready to marry. I'm only 19. Angela's smirk disappeared. She seized Vanessa's chin, yanking her face upward. "Who do you think you are to make decisions in my house? You live under my roof, eat my food, want my handouts. I found a man foolish enough to take you, and you're refusing?" Tears filled Vanessa's eyes. "I want to go to school." Angela slapped her so hard the bowl in Vanessa's hand fell. School? What school? You think I'll waste money on you when I have my own daughters to look after? Vanessa clutched her cheek, too shocked to cry. You'll marry that blind man tomorrow, Angela said coldly. Like it or not, you'll stop being my burden. She walked away, her slippers slapping the floor. Vanessa collapsed, her shoulders trembling. Tears fell like rain, bitter, hot, unending. She whispered, "Is this the end of my life?" But life had an unforeseen twist, one even her pain couldn't foresee. The next morning came with heavy clouds and silence. For the first time in years, Vanessa wished the day wouldn't start. She sat on her thin mattress, clutching the worn hem of her only decent dress, a faded blue gown with loose seams. Her hands shook as she tried to fix the broken zipper. "Vanessa!" Angela's voice boomed from the hallway. "He's here." Vanessa froze, her breath catching. The blind man. Her heart pounded, her chest tight. She wanted to scream, run, disappear. But she stood quietly, wiped her tears, and stepped outside. Disobedience wasn't an option in Angela's house. In the courtyard, she saw him. He stood tall in a neatly pressed kaftan, wearing dark sunglasses, holding a white cane that tapped gently on the tiled floor. A man in a black suit stood beside him, perhaps his driver or assistant, guiding him. His face was calm, composed, and expressionless. Angela grinned widely as she hurried forward. "Emeka, welcome. This is the girl I mentioned. She's diligent, quiet, and very obedient." Vanessa glanced at him. Emeka looked young, no older than 30. He didn't smile, just nodded and turned slightly toward her. "So, this is Vanessa," he asked, his voice deep and steady, not weak or broken. Vanessa lowered her head. "Yes, sir. I know this is sudden," he said gently, "but I have my reasons. I'm not seeking beauty or status, just a companion who won't view my blindness as a flaw." Angela laughed. "Oh, she's ideal for that. She has no life of her own. She'll have plenty of time for your needs." Vanessa's hands clenched into fists, her body burning with quiet shame, but she remained silent. "Do you have any questions for me, Vanessa?" Emeka asked. She looked up, his face angled toward her, eyes hidden behind sunglasses. Her lips parted. "Why me?" Angela pushed her forward. "What does it matter? He's proposing to you." Vanessa steadied herself. "Please, Ma, let me speak." Angela glared. Vanessa turned to Emeka. "I don't know you. I'm not ready for marriage. I want to go to school. I don't want to be forced into this." There was a pause. Emeka stayed silent, but his assistant whispered something to him. Angela's face contorted. "You ungrateful girl. Do you think good men are common? Look at yourself. No parents, no money, nothing. You're lucky anyone wants you." "Ma, please," Vanessa whispered, her voice breaking. Angela slapped her. "You'll marry him. That's final." The assistant handed Angela a white envelope. She opened it, her eyes gleaming at the stacks of cash. Her expression softened. "Let's start the preparations. The wedding is tomorrow." Vanessa stood frozen, the world spinning around her. It felt unreal, a blind stranger, a forced marriage, a stepmother who sold her like an object. That night, Vanessa couldn't sleep. She sat by her small window, gazing at the stars. Her heart was heavy. Was this her destiny? Caretaking in silence, a life bound to a stranger's darkness? Yet, a strange calm stirred within her. She didn't know why, but something about Emeka felt different. He hadn't mocked her, touched her, or even smiled. His silence wasn't cruel. It was observant, almost knowing. The next morning, in a hurried, joyless ceremony under Angela's leaking zinc roof, Vanessa became Emeka's wife. No music, no friends, just a stepmother counting money in the corner and neighbors whispering. As Vanessa stepped into the black Jeep to begin her new life, she didn't cry. She looked back once at the house that scarred her but gave no love, then turned forward, unknowingly heading toward her destiny. The car was silent for the first 10 minutes. Vanessa sat rigidly beside Emeka, her hands clasped tightly. The wedding ring felt like a shackle, not a symbol of love. Emeka's assistant, Ina, sat in front, glancing at them through the rearview mirror. The car was pristine, its leather seats cool and fragrant, too luxurious for a poor, blind man, as Angela had claimed. Vanessa noticed the opulence, the glowing dashboard screen, the soft hum of the air conditioner, the smooth ride. This wasn't the vehicle of a struggling man. "Where are we going?" she asked quietly. Emeka turned toward her, sunglasses still on. "Home," he said simply. Vanessa swallowed. "Where is home?" "You'll see soon," he replied, his voice calm but carrying a subtle mystery. The car left the noisy streets, turning onto a quiet road lined with tall trees and modern streetlights. The surroundings changed. No more noise, potholes, or vendors shouting. Pure water or gala. Peering out the window, Vanessa grew confused. The houses were grander, white fenced estates, security gates, manicured gardens. These were mansions, some with fountains, others with long driveways and pools. This was a wealthy area. Something wasn't right. "Are we dropping someone off?" she asked cautiously. "No," Emeka said. "This is our destination." The car turned and stopped before a massive black and gold gate, larger than any she'd seen, with the initials EM carved in metal. Vanessa's breath caught, her heart racing. A security guard entered a code, and the gate opened slowly. Beyond it, her jaw dropped. The estate was vast, with sprawling lawns, a fountain featuring marble lion heads spouting water, and exotic flowers aligned like a royal welcome. At the end of a long driveway stood a mansion like something from a fantasy, with pillars, balconies, and wide windows revealing fluttering curtains. She turned to Emeka, stunned. "I thought you were blind." He gave a faint smile, but didn't respond. The car stopped at the entrance, where two uniformed guards opened the doors. Another man opened Vanessa's side. Her dusty sandals touched polished tiles, and her head spun. A woman in an apron emerged from the mansion, curtsied, and said, "Welcome, madam." "Madam," Vanessa whispered. They entered through grand double doors into a living room rivaling a luxury hotel. Crystal chandeliers, velvet sofas, glass tables, a spiral staircase. Real paintings hung on the walls, and the air smelled of vanilla and lavender. Vanessa stood frozen, her legs trembling. "Is this your house?" she asked, her voice shaky. Emeka removed his sunglasses, revealing bright brown, clear, seeing eyes. He smiled. "Yes," he said. "I'm not blind." Vanessa's knees gave way. She stumbled into a chair, gasping. "You can see." "Very well," he said. "And yes, this is my home." "I don't understand." Emeka approached, calm and steady. "I pretended to be blind to test people's hearts. In a world where wealth is loved more than people, I needed to find someone who'd treat me with respect, thinking I had nothing." Tears streamed down Vanessa's face. "Why me? You didn't smile to impress me. You didn't flatter or pretend kindness. You were honest, even in your pain, and still came with me. Your dignity shone through your brokenness. That told me everything." Vanessa covered her face, overwhelmed. This wasn't a nightmare. It was a miracle. "You're not just a husband," she whispered. "You're a billionaire." "Emeka Maduka," he said, extending his hand. "Owner of Muka Holdings. But here, I'm just your husband, and you are my blessing." Vanessa took his hand, trembling. For the first time in years, someone truly saw her, not as a burden or mistake, but as a woman worthy of love. 3 days after the wedding, Angela was still gloating. She sipped malt under a mango tree, boasting to neighbors. "I've done my part. That blind man will tame her." Her dreams of school are over. Her daughters, Cindy and Ella, painted their nails nearby, laughing. "Mommy," imagine Vanessa feeding him, cleaning his messes, bathing him, Cindy snickered. "She deserves it," Ella added, blowing on her nails, feigning decency. Angela smirked cruelly. "Let her suffer a bit. I could have kicked her out long ago, but I kept her. Now she's married and out of my life. Thank God." Then a sleek black Mercedes-Benz pulled up at the gate. Everyone froze. It wasn't a car scene in their area. A sharply dressed man in a black suit stepped out, holding a gold envelope, and approached Angela. "Good afternoon, madam," he said, bowing slightly. "A special delivery from Mr. and Mrs. Maduka." Angela blinked. "Maduka?" "Who's that?" "Your daughter and her husband," he replied. "Vanessa and Chief Emeka Maduka." Angela stood confused. "Chief." He handed her the envelope and left without another word. The Mercedes drove off down the dusty road. Angela opened the envelope, and time seemed to stop. Inside was a glossy, luxurious invitation card with gold lettering. "You are cordially invited to the housewarming dinner at Muka Estate, hosted by Chief Emeka Maduka and his beloved wife, Vanessa Maduka." Below was a photo. Angela gasped. Vanessa, not in rags or barefoot, but in a floor-length emerald gown, diamonds around her neck, standing beside Emeka, no longer in sunglasses, his eyes clear and seeing. Another photo showed the estate's EM gate, and a third showed Vanessa laughing, radiant, on a marble balcony overlooking a fountain. Angela's hands shook, her mouth speechless. Neighbors crowded around. "What's inside, madam?" Angela tried to hide the photo, but someone grabbed it. They all saw. A heavy silence followed. "She married a billionaire," a neighbor whispered. "He's not blind," another gasped. "You said he was poor and blind," Mama Kalu shouted from across the street. Angela stumbled back, clutching the invitation. "No, this must be a trick." Cindy snatched the photo, eyes wide. "Mommy, that house, that dress, Vanessa's rich." Ella's jaw dropped. "You said he was poor." Angela's voice returned as a scream. "Lies. This is witchcraft. She must have bewitched him." The neighborhood erupted in murmurs and mocking laughter. "This is karma," someone yelled. "That girl was your slave, never eating 3 meals a day." Another said, "Look what God has done for her." Angela fell to her knees, wailing, tearing her wrapper. "Mommy, get up." Cindy hissed, embarrassed. But Angela didn't care. "How can Vanessa live like a queen while I'm a fool?" A neighbor clapped. "You forced her into that marriage to ruin her, but it lifted her up." Angela stared at the photos, eyes burning with disbelief. Vanessa, her servant, her punching bag, the girl she reduced to nothing, was now Mrs. Maduka, a billionaire's wife. She had unwittingly sold her into royalty. Angela didn't eat that day or the next. Rumors spread, and her respect in the neighborhood vanished. Vanessa stood on the balcony of the Maduka estate, wrapped in a silk robe, arms crossed against the gentle evening breeze. The fountain lights below glowed golden in the night. It felt surreal, like a dream she couldn't wake from. She wasn't scrubbing floors or toilets, wasn't slapped for speaking. She was free. Yet, a shadow of doubt lingered. Would this last? Emeka approached quietly. "You're always out here," he said softly. She turned, offering a faint smile. "It's the only place I feel awake." He leaned on the railing beside her. "You think this is a dream?" "I think," she paused, "maybe I don't deserve it." Emeka frowned. "Why say that?" Vanessa's eyes teared up. "I'm not refined. I'm not like girls raised in wealth, wearing perfume to school. I've always served others. I don't know how to be this." Emeka took her hand gently. "Vanessa, I didn't marry a status. I married a soul." She looked at him, surprised. "I could have chosen any woman," he said. "But I wanted truth. You didn't smile to win me over. You didn't flirt or flatter. You were raw, broken, honest. That's the rarest beauty." Emotion choked her voice. "I watched you before I came into your life," he continued. "I sent Ina to your neighborhood weeks earlier. You shared your last yam with a beggar, covered for your stepsister when she broke Angela's mirror. Despite abuse, you stayed kind. That told me you're gold." Vanessa sobbed softly, tears of healing, not pain. "I want you to return to school," he said. "Complete your education. Study anything. I'll fund it all. You'll have the life they said you couldn't." Stunned, she asked, "Why are you so kind to me?" "Because someone saved me when I was young and lost. I vow to God I'd do the same for someone worthy." Vanessa embraced him, feeling unconditional love for the first time in years. Back in the village, Angela's house was silent. No more boasting, no visitors. Shame cloaked her. Her daughters grew distant, blaming her for misleading them and missing their chance at wealth. Her shop lost customers, and whispers trailed her. Mama, blind-in-law, people mocked. She barely slept, haunted by memories of mistreating Vanessa. One morning, A black SUV parked at her gate. Angela peeked through the curtain, afraid. Not again. Vanessa stepped out in a stunning orange gown, holding a small bag. Angela opened the door, shocked. "You came." "I did," Vanessa said calmly. Angela stepped back, uncertain. "Did your husband send you?" "No," Vanessa replied. "I came alone." Angela looked down. "You're here to mock me, I suppose." Vanessa shook her head. "No, I came to forgive you." Angela looked up, stunned. "I'll never forget how you treated me," Vanessa said. "But I won't let your bitterness ruin my future. I came because you're my only family, whether you accept it or not." Angela's lips trembled, and she sank to the floor, crying. "I didn't know, Vanessa. I was tired, angry, poor. I treated you like an animal, and now you outshine us all." Vanessa nodded. "Now you see, God lifts those we scorn." She handed Angela the bag. "There's money inside. Not much, just enough for your shop," she said, "and maybe to learn kindness." She turned and walked to the car. Angela wept, not just from shame, but from Vanessa's unexpected mercy. That night, Vanessa nestled in Emeka's arms, her heart at peace. She had been beaten, silenced, rejected, but now she was loved, valued, seen, not for seeking power, but for keeping her soul. That was her true legacy. I hope you love this story. Share your thoughts and what you learned in the comments. We'd love to hear them. Guess what? Another powerful story is coming soon. So, subscribe, turn on notifications, hit the like button, and share with friends and family. Thank you for watching.